Zoom calls became quite popular during the quarantine phase of 2020, and I still regret making that one Zoom call that ruined 4 lives. I'm a 45-year-old housewife living in Montana. After the lockdown got declared, we all got locked up in our houses, but to pass the time, I often talked to my friends using Zoom. Every night after dinner, we connected through a Zoom call and chatted for at least an hour or so. My son was studying in Australia and my husband died in a car accident 10 years back, so I've been living alone for quite some time now. My friend Joanna lived with her old mother. She didn't marry. And my other friend Molly lived with her husband. We talked about our daily life mostly. Suddenly, Joanna's mom passed away. One morning, Molly called me and gave me the bad news. It was painful for all of us, because Joanne is now completely alone, and this time she badly needed us to be there for her. But we were unable to see her for obvious reasons. The only option was to connect her through a Zoom call. But as the week passed, Joanna became more and more depressed. Whenever we called her, she hardly talked. She just sat in front of the screen with a sad face. Molly and I tried to cheer her up. We even planned to take a trip once the lockdown was lifted, but Joanna didn't show any excitement. Molly often told me, "Give her some time, Ivy. She'll be fine." There was nothing else I could do at that moment, so I waited for Joanna to float back to life. I realized that it would take some time, but didn't know the change would occur so fast and unexpectedly. Joanna suddenly stopped attending our Zoom calls, or any calls for that matter. She completely disappeared from our lives, cutting all ties. Molly and I called her neighbor, Mr. Cromwell. He said, "Joanna hardly comes out of her house. At night, I could see candle lights from her bedroom window. I'll check on her tomorrow and let you guys know." The next day was Sunday. I was waiting impatiently for Molly to call me. She said she'll connect Mr. Cromwell in a conference call so that we can both know about Joanna. Around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, Molly finally called me. I picked it up immediately and heard her voice from the other side. "Ivy, Mr. Cromwell is on the line with us." "Hello? Mr. Cromwell? Did you see her today? How is she?" "Hey guys, I just came from Joanna's house. She's not the same person anymore." "I know, Mr. Cromwell. Lately, she's been going through a lot. Molly and I keep calling her, but she never picks up our call. Don't know what went—" No, you don't understand, Ivy. Joanna looked completely fine at first. She was smiling. But then she told me something that freaked me out." "Why? What did she say to you?" Molly asked. "She told me to come in and have a slice of her mother's freshly baked plum cake." "What? But her mother—" "Exactly. I think she's having trouble believing that her mother is no more. You all should call someone to take care of her." Whatever Mr. Cromwell said in the call shocked Molly and me to the core. I called Joanna right away. I made up my mind that if this time she didn't pick up the call, I would drive to her house. But thankfully, she did pick up this time. "Hello, Ivy. How are you?" "Joanna? Where are you? You didn't pick up our calls or even talk to us for the last few weeks. Are you all right?" "You don't have to worry about me. I'm completely fine now. See you guys at the Zoom call tonight." She disconnected the phone call before I could say anything. But one thing I was happy about is the upcoming Zoom call. I informed Molly that Joanna will be joining us again tonight. She became excited too. We decided to confront Joanna about her health at the video call. That night I finished dinner early. Molly's husband was out on a business trip, so we connected on the video call early that day. Molly texted the Zoom call link to Joanna, and we waited for her to join the call. Molly and I were talking casually until Joanna came in. When she arrived, we were shocked to see our friend as soon as her video flashed on the screen. Joanna was sitting in a dark room. The lights were turned off, but the room was filled with candlelight. It seemed very spooky and uncomfortable to me. "What have you done to your room, Joanna?" "Oh, goodness, no, Ivy. This isn't my room. This is Mom's room. I sleep here from now on," Molly said in a worried voice. "But why, Joe? I know you feel lonely, but you have to move forward with your life. This isn't the way to—" "But why would I be alone?" I could see a weird look in Joanna's eyes, as if Molly had said something absurd. What do you mean? Joanna, darling, we all miss your mother terribly. She was the nicest mother one could have, but you have to accept the truth. She's no more, Joe. What are you saying, Ivy? My mom's not dead. She's right here with me. Yes, I know. She will always be with you, watching over you, Joanna. Please, don't be so hard on yourself. No! You are not getting it! My mom is right here, with me, right in this room, right now! The hair on the back of my neck stood up immediately. What is she saying? Molly said in a panicked voice. What? What are you saying, Joanna? Your mother's dead. How can she be in that room with you? Oh my God! Can't you see her? She's right behind me. Joanna's eyes widened as she kept on making such bizarre claims like a lunatic. Joe, please stop behaving like this. You're scaring us, Molly said in a sobbing voice. Now I get it. You can't see her because of the darkness in my room. Wait, let me show you guys. Joanna stood up and lit a candle. She then placed the candle right next to the bed on a wooden table. What I saw gave me goosebumps. A woman was lying on the bed, facing her back to the camera. Joanna got up holding the tablet in her hand. She then said in a spine-chilling voice, Mama? Mama, look! Molly and Ivy are here. They want to talk to you, Mama. She then looked at the camera once again and said, I'm turning on the back camera so you guys can see her face. You guys will realize how peacefully she's sleeping here. What in the hell is she doing, Ivy? Molly screamed in terror. I was speechless because I didn't know what to say. There was indeed a woman lying on the bed. As soon as Joanna turned on the back camera, we realized that a living nightmare can be. There was a corpse lying on the bed. Maggots were crawling on its face. The eyes were hanging on the cheeks. It was evident that this is a dead woman's corpse that had just started to rot horrifyingly. Molly screamed and fainted on the ground. Joanna kept laughing like a maniac. I could hear her saying, Look, Mama! Look, my friends are here to see you. They weren't believing me when I told you you were here with me, but now look at their faces. Joanna now is in a mental institution. I called the cops and her neighbor, Mr. Cromwell. We came to know that Joanna stole her mother's corpse from the hospital morgue and brought it home. The fact of losing her mother hit her hard. Molly and I are going to go visit her tomorrow. It's just terrifying to see what grief and loneliness can do to people. I still find it terrifying to enter Costco or any other large retailer due to an incident that occurred when I was 7 years old. I often forget the reason we went there initially, as that one horrifying encounter overshadowed nearly all my childhood memories. Maybe Mom needed to get milk or paper towels and Dad was at work, so I just tagged along. It was an ordinary weekday afternoon. We didn't have many big stores where we lived, so entering Costco was like taking part in an adventure for me. It was enormous, packed with every single thing that existed. Innumerable aisles, brilliant lights, high shelves, cool air, and free samples made my eyes glitter in awe. I was clutching Mom's hand because she kept saying I could get lost in here. When we walked, I bounced in place and kept asking whether we could visit the toys or books once she's finished.
2 seconds, baby. I just need to get some new soup flavors for dinner.
She replied. We stopped by the instant food aisle, and Mom got busy checking it. She let go of my hand to reach across the aisle to grab the soup packets. That was the moment I spotted a man. He slowly walked up to me with this not-so-genuine smile. Though it was summer, he wore a windbreaker and had a ragged beard. He bent slightly down and leaned in toward me. Hey, buddy, want to check out the toys with me? Now, I was just 7, but my mom did teach me about stranger danger, so I glanced at my mom, who was a few inches behind me. The man kept his voice so low that I bet no one heard him other than me. I nodded my head in no, and then called out for my mom. Seeing me do that, he left quickly. I didn't tell Mom about him because she grabbed my hand again to move to another section. For the next 20 minutes, we explored Costco. Mom got all she needed and even bought me a toy, so our expedition was highly successful. She was heading for the checkout when I told her that I had to use the washroom, which was at the right. She nodded in agreement and pointed me in the direction of the washroom, reminding me not to talk to anyone and that she would be waiting right here. I headed toward the restrooms from the rear of the store, turned right, and was just about to enter when someone grabbed me from the back. I turned around to see it was the same man, and now I'm alone in this corridor with him. He reached out and firmly grabbed my wrist. His other hand swept over my mouth before I could yell. His fingers smelled like sweat and trash. I started crying, but my muffled screams died down in my throat. I recall his face up close. His eyes were wide and swirled side to side, though he kept murmuring something like, "Stay quiet, it's okay." It wasn't okay at all. I then took the only action that came to mind. I bit his palm as hard as I could. My teeth dug deeper on that meaty side of his hand. He yelled and removed his hand from my mouth for a second. That's all I needed. Gathering all my breath, I yelled for Mom. Mom! Although I'm not sure whether she could hear me from that distance, the scream was loud enough to draw the attention of 2 Costco employees who were arranging shelves nearby. The man pushed me to the ground and then sprinted away without waiting another second. Lying on the ground, I kept crying for my mom until the employees came and picked me up. One stayed with me while the other called security. Shaking and crying, I tried to explain what had happened. My mother arrived a minute later. That was the first time I saw my mom crying in public. She hugged me to her chest and continued crying for God knows how long. The Costco security looked through the CCTV footage and did find the guy walking in and leaving as well. He wandered around without making any purchases. For more than an hour, he lurked at the children's books and toys section suspiciously. He even looked at the cameras occasionally, like he despised being recorded. They called the cops, but he was never caught. Currently, I'm in my 30s, and every time I go to a bathroom stall alone, while just walking down those empty corridors, I get a flashback of my memory from that day. I never look away from my niece whenever we go shopping. To consider what might have happened if I had followed him that day still scares me to sleep. This happened last month right before the weekend. I live alone and am quite used to doing things on my own. I don't usually go shopping at dusk, especially alone, but I'd gotten off work late and Costco was on my way home. I figured it'd just be quick, grab what I needed and head out before it got dark. I wasn't even thinking about being careful. That's what makes this worse. By the time I pushed my cart out into the parking lot, the gloomy sunset had taken over the sky, and shadows stretched long between the parked cars. My cart was full, so I was more focused on not leaving anything behind. I quickly reached my car, opened the trunk, and started filling it with shopping bags. Once it gets dark, it'll be difficult to see, because I had parked further from the streetlights. I was on my own when I heard breathing behind me. "Hey, excuse me, do you have jumper cables?" Turning back, I met a man. He was standing just a few feet away. He was probably in his 40s. At least, that's how he looked. His greasy, dark hair, stained shirt, and sunken eyes told me he might be bad news. Something about him immediately set off alarm bells. Although he didn't appear overtly dangerous, the way he stood too close and smiled made me uneasy. I wanted to tell him to back off, as he was totally clueless about personal space, but I forced a polite smile.
No, sorry, I don't.
I turned back to my car, hoping that he would get the hint, but I heard him take a step closer. "Are you sure? You look like the kind of person who keeps things organized."
Can you check your car, please? I stood petrified. My eyes immediately scanned the Costco parking lot, which had only cars and no people, and it was getting dark now. I could smell the stale odor of sweat from the guy's shirt. Without turning back, I replied coldly,
Sorry, can't help you.
still wishing he'll go away. But instead, he brought his face way closer to my head, and he sniffed my hair like a dog. I felt his warm, foul breath on me. The horrible realization that a random guy was standing right behind me, sniffing my hair, doesn't occur every day. I turned around, no longer trying to hide my disgust.
What the hell are you doing?
He gave this sleazy grin, as if this is how he wanted me to react. Didn't want to pry, but you get your shampoo here at Costco? Smells amazing. I was stunned to see his audacity. Seeing him so close, I forgot to speak. But he was completely shameless, because he kept going with his little too personal questions, like what other things I get from Costco, how often I visit this place, etc., etc. I didn't answer any, but then he asked me something that sent a chill down my spine. Do they sell underwear? How about you show me the ones you're wearing right now? My wife's about your size. I want to get something similar. My hands went numb. I genuinely thought I was about to be assaulted right there in the parking lot. I closed the trunk tightly, got inside my car, and locked it. I just wanted to get out so bad that I didn't even buckle my seatbelt. The man watched me for a few seconds, and then got into a Honda with a dark blue hue parked right behind me. Once I got onto the road, his car was following me. Drops of sweat appeared on my forehead as I watched him driving past other cars to catch up to me. Every turn I made and every lane I changed, he trailed behind me. I dodged cars and sometimes even sped just to lose him, but he was one bloody leech, too desperate to let go. For the next half hour, I drove in loops across side streets instead of straight home, since I didn't want him to know my address. However, he clung to my side, never straying too close or too far. I was shaking and almost broke down crying when I thought of the adjacent police station. I ignored red lights and grounded it toward the main road. I watched his car slow down behind me as soon as I entered the precinct parking lot. Then he turned the other way, like he's got a sudden emergency. I staggered into the lobby and blurted everything to the front desk officer. They took my statement, helped me cool off, and watched Costco parking lot security footage. 2 days later, they contacted me once more. As it happens, the man had just come out of jail. He registered as a sex offender, carrying several charges related to stalking and harassment. He had no business being anywhere close to that area. They said I was lucky. I do not consider myself lucky. I still check behind me as I leave work. Even now, occasionally I smell his breath while I sleep, and I haven't visited that Costco since. To all the women out there, if you're ever alone and someone approaches you too closely, trust your instincts.